my crease queen, yeah. You got what you need, yeah. You know what I mean, Brianna. The go-to stylist. Treat you like a diamond. Everything is live with Brianna.
Alright, guys, first things first is these brows, y'all. So Armani here is my loyal client. Y'all know who this is. He's getting a basic beat today, as he always do now, but you know, when he comes with the glam, he comes with the glam. But I just want to show you how to do this basic boy beat. And this is for basically everybody, but his boy beat, this is what I do. So I'm doing his brows. He finally got his brows arched. Normally when he comes to me, I have to arch them or clean them by myself, but he's finally want to get them arched, and they look so much better. And I'm just filling this top and bottom with CoverGirl pencil in the shade Rich Brown. And then as I get to the front, I'm going to flick the hairs up to mimic brow hairs. Y'all, I feel like my brows have gotten way better than before. Like back in the day, they were black, dark. And it just changes every year. You get better. It changes, you evolve as a makeup artist. And I love his brows and the shape of them. Okay, like baby, these brows gonna be on fleek. And you gotta be like real. You gotta be real precise when it comes to just makeup in general. When it comes to eyebrows, eyes, face, you just gotta really be into it. Okay. So now what I'm taking is my MAC 252S brush, y'all. Everybody asks for this brush and what this brush is. It's a MAC 252S brush, but when you look at it in stores, it doesn't look as flat as how I got it here. But I have a video on how I make my brushes flat. And I was trying to figure this out a long time ago. Like, how are these people getting their brushes flat? Then Kiki Adam came out with a video on how to make it flat. Then I proceeded to make a video on how I made my brushes flat. So that's just the key to getting these brushes really flat. And I'm just carving his brows out with, I think it was butterscotch. Yeah, it was butterscotch from Too Faced multi-sculpting concealers. And then I also used a little bit of Bond. When it comes to concealing these brows, y'all, you have to be like real precise and make sure all the hair is clean. I don't like a brow with hair or excess of hair underneath the brow. Everything has to be clean. I love a clean Instagrammy type of brow, okay? Period. So I'm just basically taking my time doing these brows, trying to make sure they're sisters. We all know that sometimes that doesn't happen where they're not sisters. I mean, where they're not identical twins. They're sisters. That's what I meant to say. But we're gonna make them identical as possible. Excuse my head being in the way, y'all. A bad hair day, like my red hair's out. I had conditioning in it, but it kind of dried up. So yeah, y'all. You'll see my head move in and out the video. But look at those brows. Look how crisp and precise and I've been with those brows. And I feel like when you push the concealer towards the middle, they are even. You'll see how even that they are. But I try not to connect the concealer, if that makes sense. I try to get them as close as possible to kind of basically see how close I am with matching both of the brows together. So now at the top of the brow, I'm going in with my 212 brush from MAC. I love this brush for the top because you just stamp it on. You just stamp it on. Versus from dragging that fat brush from MAC, the 252S, instead of dragging that brush around the brow to make that brow arch, you can get it with this one. And then plus, you know how your brows are square round, well, square in the front, and then it comes around towards the arch area. You can get it with this 212 brush. You just have to really learn how to use it. Sometimes it can be hard, but I'm pretty sure y'all got this. This brush, you just stamping the product, basically stamping it like a cut crease. Because when you use a rounder brush and you're dragging, sometimes you might make a mistake and actually erase the product, as to where this brush, you can see where you're stamping it, if that makes sense. Look at that brow, honey. Okay, see, yes, that's the brow right there. I'm taking my 142 concealer buffer brush to buff out any concealer that needs to be buffed out. Okay, make sure it's buffed out, y'all. Don't leave that concealer there because it's gonna dry, and then when it's time to put your foundation on, you don't want that to seep through your foundation. So buff it. Do not drag it. If you drag, I mean, it's fine, but I normally tell my clients don't. Well, especially my one-on-ones, do not drag the concealer, or do not, when you patting it on, do not drag because it's gonna leave streaks. You want to pat, like P. Louise says, pat, 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 pat. You gotta pat, 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 pat that concealer out. Right onto the face. I'm taking my NARS Numbia foundation and my CoverGirl foundation in the shade D70. Prior to putting foundation on his face, I already used primers. I used the Pore Professional Primer, and I also used my Becca Ever Matte Poreless Primer. Also, that was just to smooth out the texture in his skin. My client has dark spots, and he also has, I think it's box scars, like basically ice picks in certain areas where like you have holes in those areas. So I tried to use those primers to basically kind of smooth it out as much as possible, but sometimes that shows through the foundation, so you have to just work with the skin. I had a client who had really bad ice pick, I think that's called acne scars, and you can't get around it. I just do the same technique that I do, and shoot, that's it. So yeah, his face always comes out flawless though, but that's what I did. And I used a D70, which is the CoverGirl foundation, on the outer parts of his face, and then on the inner parts I used the NARS one because it's a little bit orangey slash lighter. And keep patting, and you want to make sure all those areas are filled with foundation. Okay, if it's the lightest foundation, if it's the fullest foundation, you just want to make sure all those areas are filled, and you have no areas that are missing, because when you take that picture, baby, just believe it's going to show. So make sure you get all the areas covered. Okay, get you a big round kabuki brush, get you a Real Techniques brush, and yes, pounce it into the skin as flawless as you can. Okay, because baby, look at that, flawless. So move right on to concealer. I'm using the same concealer I use for his brows, is the Butterscotch concealer, and I also went ahead and used a little bit of a lighter concealer in the tear duct area to brighten up his face. Okay, we love that brighter under eye. Okay, some people it just doesn't work for. So looking at me, if you're into that, definitely my channel is the way to go, because I'm more of a dramatic type of girl. Even when natural, the soft look, I don't know if I can do it, but it's just not saying Marie. Okay, so I'm gonna take a class. Look, I'm gonna take a class. I'm gonna get the coins up and take a class with Olivia's songs. But if y'all wanna pitch in and give me some coins to take the class, baby, y'all can, okay? And I'm gonna give y'all some of them techniques. But I'm gonna take a class with her soon. But I heard her class was 1,500, so yeah. It's gonna be a minute. But y'all, I just love how when I do this concealer type of method, like when it's light in the inner tear duct, then a medium concealer, then a darker concealer, almost the same shade as his foundation, it just all blends so well together. Okay, and I'm definitely going to size the nose with this concealer because I want the nose to be snatched. And baby, he loves a snatched nose, so that's what we're going for. And you don't have to apply this much concealer. Okay, you don't. When it's in my Real Techniques powder brush, I'm going to stamp this out using the one side of the brush for the lighter shade, and then the other side I'm going to use for the other shades. Okay, you want to buff it out. Make sure you take your time blending this and make sure everything is blended. And I'm going to flip that brush and make sure that area is blended as well. Okay, so I'm going in with this Huda Beauty foundation stick in the shade Ganichi. It's 560R, and I'm taking this flat angle brush that I will use under the eye, and I'm starting from the front of his brow, curving it in to make that nose snatched. Okay, that's how you make a snatched nose. I'm trying to see if it's straight. Okay, trying to make that nose straight, not crooked. And then I blended it out off camera, but I used a Real Techniques 301 brush, and that's a tiny small brush that you use on the sides of the nose. Well, I use it personally, and I blend it towards the highlighted areas underneath the eye. I'm going to now take Sacha Buttercup setting powder and also a little bit of a Deep Peach from Anastasia. Okay, now I'm learning because the powder sometimes, when you highlight bright, you can use a darker powder to kind of tone it down but still have that brighter highlight. Okay, if y'all get what I'm saying, tone it. If you want to highlight bright, use a darker powder to kind of tone down that highlight a little bit. You'll still have the bright highlight, but to tone it down. But if you found with the powder that you use, the translucent or the colored light powder, that's fine. But for him, I used Deep Peach from Anastasia, and I used Sacha Buttercup, and mixed them both together. Taking this concealer in the shade, I think it's Chai, mixed with a little bit of butterscotch, I'm going to buff it out because I don't want it to be too bright. Okay, I don't want to be too bright. And I did use a little bit of foundation on his eyelids. Okay, I used to do this back in the day, like where I used my same under eye highlight and put on my eyes, and it'd be too bright. It'd be too bright for me. So I just use either the foundation or a darker concealer for the eyelid area, and then I just powder it so that we will not crease there. Right here, I'm taking the shade that I used for my bronzer and to set his outer areas where I did not add the powder, which was underneath the eyes, on the forehead, underneath the nose area, and on the eyelids. And I also set the chin with powder as well. But you have to set that area with something, whether it's powder of that um, shade, or if it's a translucent powder or something. You have to set it because you don't want it to be oily. So I did take some on the bridge of his nose, and now I'm going to contour his face with Morphe bronzer and blush palette in deep 8 or 8 deep. I think that's what it is. And I'm just taking this and bringing that contour towards his highlight area to kind of basically blend the two together. Now I'm going in with Milk pencil in the shade white. I think it's NYX. I'm sorry, NYX pencil in the shade Milk. And I'm lining his under eye with this. So our money had to go, so we decided to just do a line on his eyelid instead of a wing liner, and I smoked it out on the end. Okay, because my line straight across is dramatic. I have to get some more, but I went ahead and used my MAC Extra Dimension mascara and mascara at the top and the bottom of his lashes. And then we're gonna add these Makeup Plug.co eyelashes. That's basic beat. Okay, do you see his face with the flawless? Okay, I'm just basically wiping the powder off the eyes, and now I'm taking my lip liner from Be Fierce Cosmetics, y'all. Oh my god, it's coming. I ordered already two of the, I think, the liners and the highlighters I ordered already. Y'all, it's coming. I'm just now getting stock, and I can't wait to release to you all. These liners are so bomb. I am um lining his lips, and I took Dulce Color Supernatural lipstick because he wanted a pinky lip. And I also went ahead and used my other liner, which is a little bit lighter than the darker brown, and kind of tried to do a faded transition. Well, faded ombre. Okay, y'all, so it was this MAC lipstick. It was tiny and I didn't want it anymore, so I just used that wand, and whatever was left in the tube, I gave it to him. And I also used some clear lip gloss on the back of my hand from Fenty Beauty and added it to the outer parts where that brown line is. And I basically put the MAC lipstick in the middle to be more like pinky nudie, and that's what we got for the lips. Moving on to highlight, I took my Zoeva highlighter. I don't know the name of it, but I took that on the bridge of his nose. We don't do highlighter on the sides of the cheek. We like it matte because also when you put highlighter on certain areas, it does emphasize the bumps or the acne scars that you have. So we just do it down the bridge of the nose, and it just looks really bomb like that. I did add blush, and I forgot to tell y'all I did. Onto the cheeks, but I definitely did, and that's how it's looking. It looks really good. Look, his invisible hair, y'all. So this is it, y'all. I hope that y'all enjoyed. Don't forget to comment, rate, and subscribe, and let me know if y'all want me to come back with my client list. I know y'all like, girl, do not stop because of the ignorant comments, but I definitely have to come back. So yeah, y'all, I thank y'all so much for y'all love and support, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Invisible hair, look at him. Period. Till I'm dizzy, like where is he? No one seen him. I'm tryna clean him. She's in love with